Welcome everyone. In this video, we will discuss about the latest finding of an NSO survey. So, National Statistical Office has conducted a survey specifically focusing on the immunization and education. In this video, we will discuss first of all what NSO is, under which ministry does it function, what are its roles and divisions, and then we will get into the details of the key findings of this survey. So let's begin. First, we need to understand what is National Statistical Office. So this office is attached to the Ministry of Statistical and Program Implementation, or we can call it as MOSPI. So this office comes under the Ministry of MOSPI. Then what kind of function does it perform? So it is responsible for conducting of large scale sample survey in diverse field on all India basis. So you have to remember that it is a office which conduct survey for the all India basis. So this is one thing that you have to remember. The kind of survey that they do is mostly related to the household survey. So they go to the house and ask different socio-economic things from the people living in the house and hence conduct a household survey. What kind of data do they collect? So NSO collects data on rural as well as urban prices and plays a significant role in improvement of crop statistics. So they also go ahead and find the prices in rural and urban areas and hence help in determining the crop statistics. Another important thing that they are mostly required to do is to maintain a frame of urban area units. So they create an urban area units and these sample surveys are further used for different policy and other things. So these are the basics things that you need to know about the National Statistical Office. They have four divisions, one for field survey, one for coordination, one for data processing, and then one for doing the survey. So these are the basic points that you need to know about the National Statistical Office. Now let's move forward in this video and try to understand what are the basic details that they have released in terms of immunization. So the first thing they have said that about 59% of boys and 60% of girls across the country have been fully immunized. Now this is a very good news, like 59% in fact, in 59% boys and 60% of girls have been immunized, which has been a tremendous growth from the pre-independence time. Next, this survey says that the majority of children received vaccination from government hospital or clinics. So this also puts line into the efforts made by the government, as most of the vaccination is made available to the children in the government hospital. So that seems good for the government effort in terms of immunization. Another thing which reports talk about is that the medical expenditure on hospitalization has also decreased. So now this is again a very important thing to remember, that the out-of-pocket expenses of families had decreased in terms of immunization. From when? From the last national sample survey. So when the last national sample survey was conducted and the present survey which we are studying right now, we see that there has been decrease in the hospitalization cost. So which is a good news. Now let's also try to understand what kind of government efforts has been there to go for the improvement in immunization. So we have two major programs which were like basically the same program with different intensity and different focused methodology. One is your universal immunization program and Indradhanush mission is the focused and intensified measure of your universal immunization program. So first thing, your immunization program, it began in as early as 1978. In 1978 itself, there was a pitch for immunization program. That time it was called as the expanded program of immunization. And that time also it was under the Ministry of Family Health and Family Welfare. In later, it was this particular exercise only has been renamed as Universal Immunization Program. Now, what kind of vaccines and what type of vaccines are provided under Universal Immunization Program? So you have your BCG, which is basically for your TB, then OPV for your polio. Then there is something called as pentavalent vaccine, which has combination of 5 vaccine. These are your diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, Haemophilus influenza type B infection, and hepatitis B. Then you also have your rotavirus vaccine. Then you have your pneumonia vaccine. Then you have inactivated polio vaccine. This is a different one than the oral polio vaccine. This one is inactivated polio vaccine. Then you have measles vaccine, also measles rubella vaccine. DPT is a booster which is given for diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis. GE, Japanese encephalitis vaccine. Hepatitis B, a different shot just for hepatitis B, and TT, which is a short for tetanus. So these vaccines are provided under the Universal Immunization Program. Now let's also see what basically Indradhanush mission is. So this mission was started in 2014, and what were its goal were to strengthen and re-energize the program and achieve full immunization cover. So this is the something which has been pushed forward in 2014, that universal immunization program would be more focused and more targeted, and it will work to cover all the children as well as the women. And then again in 2017 it was called as intensified mission Indradhanush to give more push towards the program of immunization. And how it was done through this, government of India aims to reach each and every children up to 2 years of age and all pregnant women. So this is something like the whosoever has been left uncovered under the UIP, they will be covered under the intensified mission Indradhanush. So these programs are the one which has actually helped India to reach how much now? We have reached around 59% for boys and 60% for girls. So which is a great progress. This comes under the sustainable development goal of your 3, which is health and well-being. So these programs are very important to also brought down the child mortality rate. So all these things are combined. Another important thing which this particular NSO survey talks about is the details on education. Now this says that just 4% of rural households have access to computer as compared to 23% in urban areas. So now what happened in this pandemic time, most of the education has been shifted from the classroom to your online medium. So now you have to understand that it is very important that infrastructure, computer is a very basic infrastructure for which you can use the online medium of education. And here we can see the rural urban divide in terms of the digital access of infrastructure. So this is one point this survey highlights. Next, it talks about that 92% of the rural household have primary school within 1 kilometer as compared to 87.2 in urban areas. So within the reach of 1 kilometer, rural household has better accessibility as compared to urban areas. Now this is also something which has to be taken care of, because moving forward the urban areas has been going crowded and there has been issues with the traffic jam and transportation. So this has to be considered while creating the new societies or doing town planning in terms of urban areas. But if you see on the other side of it, the primary school accessibility is very good in rural household, but when it comes to secondary school, the access decrease considerably. Only 38% of the rural household have access as compared to 70% in urban areas. So now till primary education we are able to go beyond and we're able to provide good within the reach facilities in rural areas as well, but this has not been extended to the secondary school. So only 38% of the rural household have access to secondary school. Another thing which is talked about over here, that even though the accessibility is a problem in urban areas for the primary school, In rural areas, obviously accessibilities has also increased, but the gross attendance ratio, the GAR that we used to measure to see how many students are reaching the school, that has been very satisfactory. In fact, that has been nearly 100%, which is like most of the girls and boys who are in school going age are actually going to school and attending it. So this has been a great progress in terms of education in India. Various efforts from government side, including right to education, has played a very important role in facilitating this improvement in education. Then we also have Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So you can go ahead and check out the details on Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, what are its component, and that is your homework. So I hope you have liked this video, you understood what is National Statistical Office is and what are its latest finding in its surveys are. Like this video and comment.